How can we face to loneliness and solitude without being with someone? It's possible that the enlightened beings of ancient times, those who attained enlightenment without the assistance of a mentor. But for the rest of us, doing so for an extended period would only result in feelings of solitude. This kind of feeling is very natural to have every once in a while. So today we are discussing how can we face to loneliness and solitude, and its impact on us as people, and what Buddhism's teachings have to show us about this phenomenon. So stay tuned. If you are new to this channel, please like this video and subscribe to this channel for our future updates. When our capacity to feel connected to other people is thwarted, and our need to have the sense that we belong somewhere is disregarded, then we are suffering from an existential ailment known as loneliness. Even if not all the people who watch this video are religious, it still addresses a fundamentally spiritual concern. That concern is the fact that the worst kind of loneliness causes us to lose sight of who we are and why we are here in the world. The experiences of being alone and being cut off from others are not the same. There is a vast variation in the amount of individual space that each of us requires to be alone, value privacy, and take care of our inner selves. To give just one example, many people who identify as introverts abhor being coerced into social situations that aren't to their liking. They need time alone to recharge, only enjoy the company of a select few friends, and may experience feelings of loneliness or isolation in crowded social situations. They need time alone since they appreciate just a select few companions. Even though they appear to have no trouble when they are in the presence of other people, extroverts frequently experience heightened levels of loneliness and anxiety when they are by alone. Although they may have a large number of friends, these friendships may be only on the surface. It's true that ignoring our inner life or trying to suffocate them with stimulation from the outside world is just another way to wind up by ourselves. Every single human being has, at some point or another in their lives, experienced what it's like to be on their own. It may be challenging to coexist with one's family and friends if they do not share one's worldview and aspirations. This can be very frustrating while also making one feel alone at the same time. When we sense that no one cares about us, when we are deprived of human touch and connections, or when we do not feel understood or accepted among those with whom we come into contact, we can become immobilized and unable to reach out for related company or assistance. This can cause us to become stuck. The quality of a person's life begins a steady decrease the moment that isolation becomes their new normal. Numerous individuals in societies with an established economy, as well as those with economies in development, report experiencing emotions of loneliness and isolation. According to a recent survey, 46% of American adults say they experience feelings of loneliness, sometimes or always. This number represents an emotional epidemic, 47%. Tracy Couch has been appointed as the first Minister of Loneliness in the United Kingdom, which comes at a time when levels of loneliness are at an all-time high. Couch disclosed to the Huffington Post that a few particular instances that she had come across since taking on the post had struck a chord with her. One of them was a working professional who had moved to London for better employment possibilities. Nonetheless, she described her life there as incredibly lonely because she gets up, she goes to work, and then when she gets back there's nothing. He wanted to know if there were any projects locally that he could get involved with. She said of one of her clients, an older man whose wife had passed away many years ago. The revelation that he was feeling horrible from his wife's loss helped him identify that he was lonely, she said. For instance, participating in face-to-face conversation, joining groups of people who share your interests or a common cause, and living in the present moment are all tried and true ways for overcoming feelings of isolation that have their origins in conventional wisdom. Millennials, a generation that has grown up with 24/7 internet connectivity, report feeling the loneliest of any age group. This is something that should be taken into consideration. The rise of digital connectivity may be one of the causes of loneliness, especially among young people, says Crouch. We belong to one of the generations that has the most advanced technology, but we also belong to one of the generations that has the least amount of social interaction. Crouch rebuts this by pointing out that applications and mobile technology may be used to bring people together. For instance, a service that links and enables dialogue between young mothers, who are frequently separated after giving birth, would be an example of such a service. Even though there most likely are some general suggestions for combating loneliness, people who are currently dealing with this disease demand personalized care. Two examples of general approaches include gaining an understanding of the specific situation in which the lonely person is experiencing loneliness, for instance, whether they may feel isolated by the people around them, and attempting to engage in activities that may help them connect with others or a greater cause that extends beyond themselves. It is possible to feel lonely anywhere, from a little town to a huge city full of people and bright lights. The only difference is the size of the population. It is entirely up to you to decide how you want to see the world around you. It can be triggered by anything, from a very insignificant occurrence, like visiting a favorite location from a happier time, to a significantly more significant incident, like the loss of a loved one. It can even be triggered by something as simple as visiting a favorite location for a happier time. There are situations in which feelings of isolation might linger for months, and there are other scenarios in which they can last a lifetime. The distinct sequence of experiences that each person has experienced contributes in its way to the formation of their perspective of you. It is up to the confident to decide the amount of severity of the lonesomeness, whether it be a simple case of the blues or a major psychological wound. The level of severity of the lonesomeness can range from a simple case of the blues to a serious psychological wound. At the end of the day, we are obligated to give some thought to the person that will prove to be the most successful in combating the effects of loneliness. Everyone involved, including the patient's loved ones, and the patient's spiritual counselor, ought to approach this topic with a high degree of caution. Putting oneself in a scenario where one will be forced to experience loneliness is analogous to addressing a fundamental truth about the human condition, which is the fear of being alone. One of the key goals of a Buddhist chaplain is to assist the patient in getting a fresh perspective on their life, as well as their place in the cosmos, one that emphasizes the interdependence of all things. This is one of the primary purposes of a Buddhist chaplain. The realization that we are irrevocably related to one another on a profoundly existential level may be of assistance to us in conquering the fear of being alone and in giving a helping hand to those who are in our local area. We hope this video helped answer your questions. Don't forget to share it with your friends and family to help them during their time of great need. Follow us if you want to learn more about Buddhism and its impact on your mental health and lifestyle. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoy this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. We hope to see you soon. Thanks for watching.